Hey everyone, Dr. T here, and yesterday we had a major snowstorm in New Jersey, so I spent some time editing some videos I made down at the VMX with my guest, Dr. Marie Holowaychuk. She's a critical care specialist, but she's also an expert on wellness. And we talked about mindfulness, we talked about self-care. In this third part of a 4-part series, she really delves into self-care, how to really utilize it, think about gratefulness, really think about the concepts that in order for you to care for others, whether you're a healthcare professional, animal or human, whether you're just dealing with situations where you have to care for others, is that it's very important to care for yourself so that you're able to properly care for others. And that's what we talk about in this video. Okay, roll intro. I love these little breaks we take between the sessions because I really get to talk. We get to talk real stuff, and
we get our debrief.
So it helps us come up with ideas of what to talk about the subject. But I'll say this in all honesty, that I love our profession. I love the people in it. I think that there are unique traits about those in our veterinary profession. The great is we love animals. We want to save the world of animals. The downside is we tend to not be very good communicators, and our dealings with two-legged individuals is not the greatest. And because we're perfectionists, because we try to do our best, we are very self-deprecating, and there's a lot of internal talk going on there. So when Marie came around, when I first met Marie several years ago, I think that the whole concept of taking care of yourself, self-care, is incredibly important. I think it's something that all of us as practitioners, as veterinary team members, we really need to do this, because we're starting to recognize the things that stress us. We know what we don't like about the profession. A lot of that can be changed by just looking inwards on yourself and trying to figure out what you can do to make it better for you. The world of life is not the situations we're thrown in, it's how we respond to those situations. And I think to have that tool, that empowerment of self-care, I think it's very, very important. So she's an expert at this. She's been doing it long enough. She's teaching, she's talking about it. So if you ever go to a veterinary conference, definitely, she's usually there. She's at almost every veterinary conference I've been at.
I don't know about that.
Well, especially in Canada, you're going to reach out there. But definitely, look for Marie and come to some of her lectures. But let's talk about self-care.
Absolutely, yeah. So, we talked about it earlier, the fact that it's like an oxygen mask. It's something that you need to tend to first before tending to other people. But it's hard to know where to start. So the whole idea of self-care is that you're doing something just for you. Okay, so something ideally that fills your bucket. Self-care looks different for each and every one of us, right? We all have different ideas about what relaxes us, what makes us feel good, etc. There's 3 different components of self-care for care providers that are really important, and then there's different dimensions of wellness that we like to focus on, and so I'll break that down. The 3 different pieces of self-care, the first one is letting go of work when we're not working. And this is something that we all struggle with. All professionals, I think, struggle with this, right? We go home and we're thinking about a case or an interaction that we had or something that didn't go the way we wanted it to. It's usually focusing on negative, right? Because we have a negative bias in our minds. It's not focusing on the positive. So as much as you can at the end of your day, definitely debriefing your day, like thinking to yourself, acknowledging what went not so well for me today, but focusing more on what went well. What do I have to be grateful for today? Even if you had a case that didn't go so well, can you be grateful for the fact that you had a great team that tried really hard with this patient and it just didn't work out, or whatever it might be. Also, getting yourself in terms of having all of your tasks looked after so that you're not thinking about later things you have to do. So delegating, writing stuff down, making to-do lists, making sure that everything you need to look after is looked after, and then leaving work with intention. So saying goodbye to people, taking yourself out of role somehow, whether it's changing out of your uniform, taking your name badge off, taking your lab coat off, having some sort of ritual like shutting down your computer, closing your files, clearing your desk, something that signifies my day is done. And if there are any distressing situations from the day, formally debriefing them with a person or planning, say, hey, you know what? Earlier today when I said that thing to you, I didn't feel really good about it after, I don't have time to talk about it now because I'm heading out, but can we, maybe tomorrow over lunch we can have a chat. And then it's dealt with, right?
Oh, and also makes that person feel so much better and they won't be stewing on it.
Everybody.
Yeah,
everybody. So, and then as best as you can, when you do get home, try to limit your shop talk time. So, set a timer. Okay, we've got 15 minutes, hammer it out. How was your day? And then that's it. Now it's personal time. It's me time, okay? Time for self-care, time for family time, whatever. The second part is making sure that you have adequate time for rest and relaxation, or something designated to rest and relaxation. So this is going to look differently for everybody. For some people, it's taking the kids to sports, taking the dog for a walk, getting to a workout class, pouring a glass of wine and watching Netflix, whatever it looks like for you, but know that you're doing it for you, right? That this is a form of self-care, whether it's, time you've allotted to, doing something you love, time that's restful, whatever it might be, okay? The third piece of this is some sort of stress reduction method. So the activities that we do during the day are so incredibly stressful, and it's not realistic for us. We talked about this with sleep earlier. It's not realistic to go home and then just think you're going to be like this Zen, amazing person, and you're just going to fall into sleep and fall into family time and all this stuff, and it's going to be all rainbows and butterflies, as I like to say. During work, noticing when you're tense and relaxing your body, noticing when you're clenching your jaw and relaxing, taking time to drink water, to go to the bathroom, to breathe, to eat, to address all of those things that we need to do, to take time to relax and relieve stress during the day, and then also ideally when we get home, specifically before bed, as we've talked about before. So those are the three main components of self-care. Now, the important thing to recognize is that as far as our overall health and well-being goes, there are many different dimensions. So it's not just physical health and wellness, right? That's like sleeping, eating, exercising, that kind of thing. It's emotional health and wellness. So self-care in terms of emotional, maybe booking an appointment with a counselor, right? Or phoning a friend once a week, right? To have that commiseration about something. Social wellness is huge as well, okay? So having that connection time, right? A lot of people now do this by social media, but there's a lot to be said for in-person social connection, feeling a sense of belonging. There's studies that actually suggest that loneliness has the same health ramifications as smoking in terms of taking time off of our life. So for those of us who, a lot of people in veterinary medicine are introverts, but knowing that social connection is really important and feeling that sense of belonging to a group or to a team or to an organization or whatever.
Which makes me wonder, like places like, we're at the VMX conference right now, just being here.
Connecting.
And everyone says they get re-energized. And, it's great to see fellow people. It's great to see, plus we're all in the same boat, right? It doesn't matter what we're doing. We're all in the same boat. We all have the same,
the same struggles.
Same struggles, same happiness, wins, same losses. And to feel that together is teamwork.
So important.
Yeah.
So spiritual wellness is another dimension. So this is all about, for some people it's religion, prayer, belief in a higher power, whatever. For some people it's just a gratitude practice, right? But it's recognizing that we have value and purpose in life and in the work that we do, and that there's natural forces that exist in this universe that are beyond our control. That's helped me a lot as a veterinarian, because it's helped me to let go of cases that didn't go well, because I knew, despite doing everything right, that, sometimes things are just out of my hands.
Well, especially critical care, right?
Especially critical care.
Yeah. It's one of those things. And I think we're exceptions as veterinarians where we see a patient from birth to death. So it's one of those things that we're going to deal with end of life scenarios.
A lot.
And, and we are the profession, with the exception of maybe two countries, few states that actually perform humane euthanasia. So I think that it's one of those things that we have to deal with. Yeah. Well, this is all deep, great stuff, though, people. And there's so much more. There's intellectual wellness, which is lifelong learning. So
learning a new language, taking a course, taking a class, something preferably outside of your regular work. So as veterinarians, doing something non-veterinary related. Financial wellness. I don't need to go into what that means because that's basically means living within your budget, etc. And then environmental wellness is another big one. So like working and living in an environment that's free of clutter, that feels safe, that jives with you, whatever it might be. But those are the really big things. And so, yeah, important to recognize that a lot of stuff goes into this.
And I have to tell you, so when she was done her talk, the first thing I said to her was I went up there and said, oh, there's a bunch of things I do wrong or something. She goes, no, that's not the way to look at it. What do you do right? And when you start listing, so she had a list of, you had at least 12 items, right?
Yeah.
About what to do to get a better night's sleep.
Do's and don'ts,
So basically it's my vices. Do I watch TV before bed? Yes. Is that what I'm supposed to do? No. But things I do is I limit my coffee intake so many hours before bed. I do my exercise so many hours before bed. I try not to pig out unless there's something really good that's calling my name, but I try not to eat something before bed, things like that. So when you start going down the list of things you do that's correct, it actually made me feel so much better.
Yeah.
But it's just how you look at that situation. Oh, that's great. This is great advice.